Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Twiztid Haunted High Ons, The Darkness Rises Issue 1 from 2019, published by SourcePoint Press. This was written by Dirk Manning, pencils and inks by Marianna Pescosta, colors and letters by Alessandro de Fornasari. Alright, so we start off with some guy with a bunch of what looks like postulating vaginas on his chest, trying to call somebody, but they're not answering, so he calls some ghost hunters who also run a party supply store. That's an interesting combination of occupations there. Then we cut over to those guys. We don't really get an introduction. I didn't know these guys were in a band in real life. Apparently Twiztid is a band. I'm not familiar with them, but from what I was able to glean on the internet, they're a hardcore rap duo. They've been around for about 20 years now, it looks like, a little over that, and they're two middle-aged men that talk about smoking weed with some occult imagery and for some reason face paint. With the face paint is not explained in the book why they wear that when they go ghost hunting. Like, does it give them special powers or something? But things go south really fast and they meet this creepy doctor guy. It's got an interesting storyline, actually. The characters are a little silly. They're really portrayed as middle-aged, low IQ, kind of some polite way of saying trailer trash these days. They're not terribly intelligent. They seem to mean well, but they come off as kind of the dumb people in the group, and they seem to embrace that. There's some pot humor, of course, but I don't know, it's really well written. I thought the storyline was actually pretty interesting. The art's not too bad. I just don't know anything about the band, and the characters of Twiztid are not really explained. If you're not a fan of the music, this is a terrible introduction to the characters that they're portraying. I think it would have been a little better to give some sort of biography in the beginning, because these are like their stage characters as well. That probably would have helped. It looks like there may have been a mini-series before this one, and this might tie into one of their albums or something, I'm not sure. But I think a little bit of background on the people of the band would have been very helpful to anyone just picking up the issue randomly, because it actually looks like it's pretty well done. The paper quality's fantastic, I'll give them that for sure. And the art's not bad. It's not a style I generally enjoy, but I've seen a lot worse out of mainstream books. And Dirk Manning's a pretty decent writer, so they've got talent here. They just need to introduce the characters better when they do these mini-series. Like, why are these guys ghost hunters? Are they in a hip-hop band in the comic series as well? And does this tie into their album? There is advertising for them in the back of the book, but again, I'm not familiar with who they are, so that doesn't really help me. So I would like a little bit more background on who they are and why I should care. I mean, they seem to have a lot of occult imagery and stuff like that in their music, and I don't know, but they kind of look like juggalos. So what separates them from Insane Clown Posse, and what makes them different? Why should I care about them, and what does the face paint represent? I need to know these things as a new reader who's being introduced to the band. You know, I might be more inclined to check out their music if I was introduced to them in a more thorough way. They're not giving me enough to work with to build interest in them. I need a little bit more background, things like that. But it's not a badly written book. If you just kind of see them as a pair of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo's with this smart ghost lady that they seem to ignore a lot, then it's actually not a bad read. It's good quarter-bin material if nothing else, but I probably wouldn't have felt cheated for my $4. It's not something I really would have sought out for $4, but I don't know who these people are. So if I had a little bit more to work with, I'd be more interested. Pretty solid book altogether. It probably is better if you know who they are, and if you're into pot humor and hip-hop. If you're a diehard fan of the band, you might actually really enjoy this. Not knowing who they are, I probably didn't get as much value out of it as I could have, but it wasn't a bad read. I've seen a lot worse. So I'll recommend it, especially if you're a fan of the band. And like I said, I don't know who they are, so I can't really judge that, but this really has nothing to do with their music from what I could tell. It's good cross-promotion for sure. They should be pretty proud of that, but it doesn't make them look like the smartest people. They come off as kind of like ignorant trailer trash, but I wouldn't hold that against them as real people, but the portrayal makes them look kind of dumb. That they seem a little more obsessed with weed. That seems to be part of the characterization they're going for, and that's fine, I guess. So I'll recommend it if you can find it at a reasonable price, but for $4, if you're a fan of the band, you'll get your money's worth. If you find it in a quarter or 50-cent bin and you want to read some like Scooby-Doo type mystery, this seems like it's up that alley. Really well written. I thought I was actually kind of impressed. Usually these cross-promotional things don't go very well, but this is pretty well done for what it is. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing so you don't miss future reviews. If you want to help the channel in other ways, links are in the description and on the About page. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.